Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures,
the podcast that fuels your passion for obstacle course racing, running, and adventure.
Since 2017, we have released weekly episodes for the seasoned pros,
weekend warriors, and everything in between.
We discuss the industry news, travel for live coverage,
and interview athletes and key voices in the athletic community.
We cover it all, from fundraising events, personal trials,
to world records, FKTs, and world championships.
Standing on the corner.
Now let's get started with your hosts.
Lost all my clothes.
Michael Stefano and Caitlin Ritter.
Hey guys, it's Michael Stefano.
And Caitlin Ritter.
And Caitlin, how was your weekend?
I think I had the best, General Tso's chicken that I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh, good. Yeah, I wrote down I couldn't think of anything interesting that happened this weekend. But that was really good. It was also orange chicken, so...
Oh, same thing.
It's similar. It's sauced chicken.
Okay, but it was like a chicken cutlet.
Yeah.
It was all white meat. It was sliced over rice and vegetables. God. It was so good.
I know what you're having for dinner. Oh, no. You said we have a different dinner plan.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But in the words of Will Hicks, it was...
So good. And shout out to our sponsors. Caitlin, you need to get rid of that word. That word cannot be in our show notes.
Shout out to Mudgear, use code ADVENTURE for 15% off your next Mudgear purchase. And Caterpie, use code OCR Report 20 for 20% off your next Caterpie purchase.
And what's the new code for Spartan and Tekka and all that stuff?
OCR Report 20.
Oh, cool. Okay. And then we're going to shout out the $3+ Patreon supporters because it is the first episode of the month. It was supposed to be out on the 1st of the month.
Do you know what today is?
The 2nd of February?
Which is?
Oh, I don't have a clue.
Groundhog's Day. And...
Why would I possibly care about Groundhog Day? It's 2026.
And Puxatawny, what's his name?
Puxatawny.
Phil saw his shadow, so there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter.
No, there's no correlation.
Stop ruining it.
Oh my god. Ruining it is... I'm not even going to say that. But I can't say that either. Other things around other holidays, in case there's kids listening.
But he saw a shadow. There's no denying. He didn't see a shadow. He did see a shadow.
I was told that he did not see a shadow.
I thought it was 6 more weeks of winter when he sees a shadow, because then he gets scared and he goes back.
Every second that we've talked about this is more seconds that I wish we weren't talking about this.
Anyway, 6 more months of winter.
No, it wasn't though. It was the opposite of that.
No more weeks?
Whatever the other one is, I don't know. As I told my coworker, the only good thing about that is the movie. And then I'm like, ooh, I haven't seen that movie in a while. I don't know if it holds up, so.
Remember the last movie you recommended?
Oh, it was the same staff, too. Oh, no. Yeah, that was a big mistake.
Hey, Mike, shout out our Patreons.
Yeah, Jason Dupree, Samantha Thompson, Matthew Putton, Bradley Keel, Charlotte Engelman, Aaron Grandstaff, Cheryl Miller, Jessica Johnson, Christopher Hoover, Kevin Gregory Jr., Evan Eyrick, Ashley Rice, Brent George, Justin Manning, Logan Nagel, Angela Bowers, Thomas Peterson, Seth Renikonek, Steve Bacon, Robert Landman, Jules Estes, and the Muddy Duck himself, Alan.
Cool.
Thank you so much for the support. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. And make sure you're checking out these Patreon posts that go up too. You don't really have to watch all the interview videos, but all the monthly videos I think are worth watching. And shout out to the OCR Report for being a great home for us on the internet.
And to William Hicks.
Podfather, check it out over at theocrreport.com. We had an accidental group call when I was driving to work the other day.
Why did you think it was me?
I figured if anyone was going to butt dial, I could have swore. So one, I don't do a good job with the nicknames. We're constantly nicknaming each other every season, every holiday, every whatever. And I just look at the pictures. When people change the pictures, that's when I get super confused. And whatever came up, I didn't think was Will. Because what really wants you to watch Pluribus is Will?
Yes.
Yeah. I heard that's a good show, but I don't get time for a new show. Anyway, I thought it was you, and so I laughed maniacally when everyone was joining. But yeah, it was a fun call. I couldn't hear anything because I was going down the highway, but yeah. And to our sponsored athletes.
Javier Escobar, Kelly Sullivan, Ryan Brizolara, Joshua Reed, and Kevin Gregory.
Yeah, poll results.
Are you doing your new segment?
Your new segment?
My new segment.
Yeah, am I doing your new segment?
Where does that go in this?
Oh, I guess I didn't add it, or I deleted it. Badass of the week? Do you have a badass of the week?
I have one if we're allowed to get a little political.
Oh boy. Sure. Oh yeah, that's fun.
Okay. So, Patreon and supporter of our podcast,
Oh, I didn't see who it was. Yeah, love this.
Ashley Rice is our, what are you calling it?
Badass of the week?
Badass of the week. And she went on a 3.35 mile run. And what did she do in her Strava?
Fuck ice.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty excellent.
And that's a message we can support.
Yeah. A whole bunch of arguments you can make around a whole bunch of things. But the training and the poor training and everything, not great. Getting to poll results, because we did a poll. I asked, guess how many guests we had on the show in 2025. Sorry, how many new guests we had in 2025. 28% of people said 47 guests. 39% of people said 89 guests. 28% of people said 101 guests, including Caitlin. And 6% of people said 130 guests. And the correct answer was 130 guests.
Wow.
130 new guests last year. And the only one that got it correct was my boy, Michael Schutt. So thank you. And it's insane to think of. And you're like, how does that make sense? You only do 52 episodes a year, 2 episodes of recaps, blah, blah, blah. Lots of live coverage. So very, very, very proud of that. Michael Schutt also... Oh, that would have been the perfect transition. We'll get to that news story in a bit. Meme of the week, we're going to skip and go to quick news, starting with Dylan Scott's sponsorship.
Every time I hear Dylan Scott, I think of that musician.
Yeah.
Because that's my girl in the passenger seat.
He posted?
Sometimes your dreams from 16 come true when you're 30. Earlier this month, I got to go out with Nike IQ to tour test...
HQ.
What did I say?
I think you said IQ.
Oh. Nike HQ to tour, test, and sign with Nike as their first American High Rocks athlete. It had been a contract for a long time in the making, but it was of course hinted at over the last few races, but can now finally be stated as fact.
Yeah, so congratulations to him. I've heard nothing but really great things about him. I've never met him in person, but I heard he's a really, really good guy. And UK OCR posted a follow-up, which was a response from World Obstacle. I highly recommend you... go and find this post yourself. Links down below. But this is way too much to read. But basically it encapsulates the whole, or addresses the whole issue of like how expensive things are getting and this and that. And the entry fees are like skyrocketing and this and that. And so it's like a 2-page letter, open letter, that I highly recommend you check out so you can learn more about all the stuff that's going on. Now we can get to Michael Schutt. This would have been a great transition. He is the last man standing at the Breakline event. So he covered, 75 kilometers? You want to find that, what that is in American? 75 kilometers covered wearing a 9K weighted vest. And I think in the comments someone said that he had a 10K weighted vest. 3-kilometer double plate carry, 300-meter walking lunges, 300-meter burpee broad jumps, over 45 obstacle zones, each packed with multiple obstacles, all of it with the vest on. This wasn't a race, this was survival. He didn't stop, he didn't break, he won. Michael earned the last man standing trophy. Love that.
It was 46.6 miles.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, he's an awesome athlete. And I'm assuming that this means his foot's feeling better too. So very happy to hear that.
19.842 pounds.
Okay, basically 20 pounds. Well done, Michael. Next up, another sponsorship-related update, because we love when sponsors highlight and appreciate our athletes, and it's all the more important to support these businesses so they can continue to support our athletes. So this is Ben Crawford, who I had met at Fit Challenge a while ago, I think. He said that he's excited to announce his partnership with Hammer Nutrition as a sponsored athlete. His journey with Hammer Nutrition started in 2021 at his first OCR, which was the Spartan Beast in Big Fork, Montana, where he was struggling getting through the course, and there was a man who passed him with one of his energy gels. So congratulations, Ben, and to Hammer Nutrition for getting another sponsor.
That's awesome. Christian Brown Johnson posted 7 ultras, 7 continents, 7 days, premiering on YouTube January 29th at 5 p.m. PST on CBJ Indoors.
Oh, I couldn't figure out what that said at first either. But yeah, so this is, of course, following his Project 5077 experience, which he did a 50K on all 7 continents in 7 days. And I haven't had the chance to watch this yet. Things have been really busy. But congratulations to him, and I hope to check that out soon.
Submissions are closed for the Raw OCR Photo Awards.
Yeah, I really wish they reached out to some photographers, but hopefully all the OCR photographers saw this. For those wondering what's next, the jury evaluation will be in February. Finalists will be announced late February. The public vote will also be late February, and the winners will be announced in March.
That's awesome.
And then we got some podiums, nice and early in the year.
For the Abominable. Abominable.
Yeah, you got it that time.
Abominable.
Snow race.
Snow race, thank you. In third place, Baxter Hummel. In second place, Nathan Green. And in first place, Marquez Green.
I think it's Marquez.
Oh, Marquez.
Yeah. And for the ladies.
And for the ladies, in third place, Heather Christensen Nelson. In second place, Sarah Tucker. And in first place, Vivian Tran.
Yeah, congratulations to all those athletes there.
And if you heard Mike whisper, "Oh no," before we read third place, it's because her Instagram handle is Mama Swimja, and he screenshotted it.
Oh, yeah. The problem isn't her name. The problem is that I screenshotted it and that it didn't say their actual names in there. And I actually didn't know her name, and I apologize. How would you feel about going to this event next year?
Where is it?
Wisconsin, where the Packers play.
Is in Green Bay?
Well, no, but it was in Wisconsin, and the state's not that big.
We could go to the
Like
cheese
Geneva.
factory.
I'm
We could go
aware.
to Lambeau Field.
I'm aware.
We get cheese curds.
Mhm.
We could go to the Spotted Cow Brewery. We could go to Portillo's.
Oh,
we
yeah.
could go to the Brat House. We can go to eat more cheese curds.
Good stuff. That's actually a perfect segue because there's 5 secret links down below, but let's get to what this episode is all about. Somehow she's never been on the show before, despite seeing her at races. Sarah Tucker. You ruined it. You ruined it. Despite seeing her race at 2 different World's Toughest Mudders. But we had Sarah Tucker on the show. We talked to her about her history of OCR, World's Toughest Mudder, the Abominable Snow Race, where she just took second place. And oh my God, this iPhone autocorrect thing needs to be fixed. I clearly wrote much, but it changed to Mujo Ch. But much, much more.
I thought you were like phonetically spelling something.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. Let's get to the interview with her to highlight this awesome local event. Well, not local to us, but like small scale. The good stuff. All right, so we can get started with your name and where you're from.
My name is Sarah Tucker, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
Awesome. So as I said before, we started recording. Our paths have crossed a couple times, but somehow the first time you've been on the show. Tell me about your athletic background and how you found OCR.
Well, I grew up kind of always doing just school sports, focused mainly on soccer. And then I ended up playing soccer in college. And then took a break really from any kind of sports or fitness things after college, just kind of working and then having children. I have 4 children. And once they were kind of old enough to not need me, joined at their hip 24/7, I kind of fell into fitness again, started kind of doing some stuff for my own health, trying to get in a little bit better shape. And so I started doing some like gym lifting stuff. And then saw like an ad on Facebook for a Spartan race. And I was like, that kind of looks fun. And like kind of had always wanted to get back into running anyway, like when I played soccer. And so it kind of gave me something to train for to start running again. So I did. I started running, and I had never, the thing I was most worried about on my first Spartan race was the rope climb.
Okay.
I had never ever climbed a rope before. I had no idea how. And so I watched so many YouTube videos of like how to climb a rope. Turns out that was not the hardest part of my Spartan race. It actually was the spear throw.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so trained for about 3/4 of a year for my first Spartan race. I didn't really know what to expect. My goal going into it was to get top 10 in my age group. And then after the first race, I actually got first place in my age group. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I can kind of take off with this. Seems like I'm maybe a little bit good at it. And like too, like while I was doing the obstacles, like it was the most fun I'd ever had. Like felt like a kid on the playground again, all the monkey bars, the rings, etc. Loved it. And so, yeah, that's just kind of where my passion for OCR started and has grown, and I've loved doing it and improving since.
Yeah. I've had well over 1,000 guests at this point, and this is one of the few circumstances where I hear that like someone was actually prepared for their first obstacle course race. And almost everyone's like, yeah, I got my teeth kicked in, but somehow I loved it and it came back anyway. So first place in your age group, that's a pretty great way to start.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised by myself, but it just lit that fire like, oh, I did that. How much better could I get if that was my first one and I did decent. So
that's great. Yeah, I saw that in one of your posts you talked about like running only to chase a ball to running to like chase obstacles, which is like a fun twist, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And in your training too, tell me about, I kept seeing, was it Wolfpack Fitness?
Yeah. So during that year that I was kind of leading up to my first race, someone from the gym I was working at told me about this place that had an obstacle course, different Spartan obstacles built in their backyard. And so I went out there and I made it pretty, every week I would go out there and train. They did have a spear throw set up. They had rope climbs. Um, they had like a Z wall. They have all kinds of stuff. They've got rigs with different kind of holds and stuff. Yeah, and so I spent a lot of that first year there just running laps around their property and then stopping and doing obstacles in between. But it's called Wolfpack Fitness. It's in Lebanon, Tennessee. John and Rachel Wolf are who run it and own it, and they're great. They were like my coaches for that first year, getting me ready for that race. So
love that. Awesome. Yeah. So fast forwarding a little bit, and again, you got your start in 2021, just to make it clear, right?
The very end of 2021, yeah.
Okay. So then in February 2022, you podiumed at your first Spartan U.S. National Series event. How did that almost immediate continued success feel?
Yeah, I kind of just felt like I was rolling with some momentum. It felt really good. It kept my confidence up for a while. And I was excited to, jump head first into this sport and be able to do okay at it.
Yeah. What was it like making the jump, I admittedly very quickly, but making the jump from like age group to competitive? Was it a hard decision at all, or?
Yeah, I got real nervous, but I always wanted to push myself. I want to see what I can do against the best of the sport. I'm not going to grow if I continue to sit at the top of the podium of my age group and not compete against those who are even better than that. So while I get super high, like anxiety and nervous about going against all the really good athletes, it was a step that I needed to do, and I needed to throw myself in there and see how I would play up against that and what else I needed to do to improve. So yeah, it was hard, especially with my, like, if you ever see me right before a race, I'm like jittery and shaky and like my stomach gets in knots. I get so nervous. But once we start running, I'm kind of in the zone and good. But yeah, just kind of told myself that was, I needed to at some point jump up and try to run with the big girls, and just did it.
Yeah. I always say, like, if you're not nervous, then you don't care.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something I just say to justify my own anxiety, but that's the thing.
Yes.
You made a post later talking about how like Rachel Waters was like an elite that you looked up to. What else like were you aware of for like the elite field? Did you know a lot of the women there beforehand, or did you meet a lot of them after?
No, I really didn't know many of them beforehand. I think I knew Rachel because I had seen her at the first few races that I had ever done. And like she happened to be just one of the first people that I followed on Instagram. And so yeah, she was kind of like my role model of like, oh, I want to be as good as her one day. Um, and then like it was funny too when at one point throughout that same year, I met her, we started talking, and I was like, I feel like a fangirl, like talking to her favorite celebrity. I was like, oh my gosh, she wants to be my friend. But no, so I didn't really know a whole lot of the elite women when I first got into it. That just kind of slowly grew as I got more into the sport and, followed more on Instagram and social media and stuff. I never got to meet Lindsay Webster, sadly.
That is a bummer. Yeah. There's like a small part of me that like hopes for her return one day, but the other part of me is like, I'm hoping she's enjoying family life. Hopefully she opened up that bakery business that she's always wanted to do and all that.
Yeah.
But Rachel Waters, like, not a bad role model to have. I had the privilege to meet her. Admittedly, it took me a while to finally meet her, but I'm in the Northeast, so she doesn't race up there as often. So
Right.
Really cool to meet her once I did. And then fast forwarding to May 2022, you took on your first Savage race. So how was your experience with that?
Yeah, it was so much fun. I loved, of course, you know what everybody says, they have the different obstacles than Spartan does, so it was a good change up. Um, but that was a lot of fun. It was in Charleston. The venue was really pretty, and I got to be challenged by the obstacles there. I don't think that there were any that I like really got stuck on that time. But it was just getting used to like the different rigs with the handholds and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I was not used to that from Spartan, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I knew
Yeah.
that I would come back and do some more Savages eventually after that too.
Did you have to deal with the I think they call it like the twirly bird, like the mop handle ropes at all?
Um, I don't remember.
Okay, I know that's a rig implement that like pops its head sometimes, and I was never able to get that done.
I don't think that they had that one at that race. I could be
Gotcha.
wrong. If they did, I don't remember getting like stuck on anything. So it
Yeah.
must have been a
And then thoughts on like the recent Savage Race news, which hopefully shouldn't affect you as much too, because like they're still in Florida, so they're still down there. But thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's sad. I hate it for them.
Yeah.
Um, I really hate it for them. I wish they could have survived having as many races as they did. But at least they're not gone completely. I'm glad that they're still able to have at least a couple, and hopefully those ones, you know, there'll be a lot of turnouts and they'll have good crowds for those.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I've always been a huge fan of Savage.
Yeah.
And then going to another event that unfortunately fully went away. July, you took on your first Indian mud run. How was that course? I heard nothing but great things, and I hate that I never had the chance to come out.
Yes, it was really cool. The course was really pretty. The woods were really pretty. Hard obstacles. Those had some legit obstacles in them. Um, there was one that I remember I got stuck on. It was like a line of ropes, but some of the ropes were like fire hose rope. It was like a fire hose, like thick and skinny.
Huh.
I remember getting stuck on that one for a long time. And then there's a super long monkey bar rig. Like, I don't know how long, but it just went on forever. There's so many rungs. Um, there's a really tall tower we got to jump off into the lake on. That was fun. Yeah, that was it was a cool venue, had lots of good obstacles, and I was sad. I was happy to be able to be there for the last one, but also really sad to hear that they are no longer gonna have races.
Yeah, I heard it actually had like decent hills too, which is not something that,
Yeah.
Ohio or that part of the country is known for at all too. So
Yeah.
that was surprising to hear.
Yeah, it did.
And then speaking of first, you took on your first High Rocks with, again, your role model, Rachel Waters. Was that your first hybrid race?
Yes. Yeah.
How,
Yeah,
how was
that was
that?
really fun. It was really fun. I didn't really know what to expect. It was kind of, maybe it was just when I was starting to see stuff about High Rocks. I didn't know much about it. When Rachel asked me if I wanted a partner, I immediately had to go back and do a bunch of research on what I needed to work on for this race because I really didn't know. But it was a lot of fun. I still have yet to do another High Rocks. I need to do a individual one at some point. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I will say High Rocks is not as much of a draw to me, and I can't quite figure out why. I think it's just because it's in such like a sterile, like gym running
Yeah.
environment. It doesn't have that like
There's no
rugged
adventure.
nature yes, no
Yeah.
adventure, no like playground type of vibe to it, which is what I really like about OCR.
But yeah, go back to High Rocks and hybrid racing too. That's the same thing. I haven't taken on High Rocks for the same reason too. Like I miss that sense of adventure, and like there's no, you don't get that there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know exactly what's coming, you know exactly what's next. There's no surprises. So just kind
Yeah.
of not as much my thing as OCR.
Yeah, and I can kind of see the allure for people that just like want to improve on their times and like have that
For
objective
sure.
results, but like
Yeah.
that's not really me, at least.
Yeah.
So safe to say, like not too much interest in doing too many more of those, or you might dip your toe back in that water.
No, yeah, I might do one here and there. Like I said, I do want to do a solo one just to have a like a measurement of how I will do on my own. And then, if I ever have someone that wants to do a partners or anything, I would totally be open to doing that. But just not something that I want to jump into and like focus on full time.
Yeah, the partner aspect of it is definitely the only reason why I think I would be interested. Because I did take on like a Deca strong with my wife, which worked out really well because she's good at the things I'm bad at, and I'm good at the things that she's bad at. So it worked out like perfectly.
Yeah.
And you're really like held accountable. Like, oh, I need to do well. So, this and that.
Yeah.
And then you started 2023 by competing in your first CrossFit competition. So how did your interest start to like sway that way?
Yeah, so I started CrossFit not too long, I think late into 22. I was doing like my gym workouts beforehand it's called Burn Boot Camp. It's just like I don't know, kind of like HIIT style, but then they have a little bit of like dumbbell type weightlifting stuff as well. I felt like I was just kind of growing out of that and needed like some heavier type barbell stuff to work on. And so that's when I found CrossFit down the road from where I was going. And so then I started going to CrossFit pretty regularly, just kind of using that as my strength training for OCR, lots of like, pull-ups, muscle ups, all that kind of stuff kind of played well into the stuff that I would need to do for OCR anyway. But also kind of fell in love with that as well. I love throwing around a heavy barbell. I like to, find that balance between being able to run, and then being able to grow and keep on muscle as well. It's kind of fun playing with my nutrition to see how well I can try to do that.
Right.
So, yeah, but so I really like both. I love my community at my CrossFit gym. I love all the workouts we do there, and then I like how I can use the strength that I am gaining from there to play into my OCR hobby as well. Yeah.
It's funny because like my next data point was in April you took on a 50 miler. So like going from CrossFitters don't run to like 50 miler.
Yes.
how is that? Just ready to jump into ultras?
Yeah. It's, I'm always just looking for ways that I can do things that seem like they're impossible. And I want to do all the things and I want to experience all the things. And so I don't like to limit myself to one thing. And I don't know, I've been able to make it work. I've been able to put on some muscle and still continue to run long distances without any really side effects. I've seen improvements in my ultra running by how like fast I recover. I felt like the more strength training I've done, the faster I've been able to recover from these long runs. Like I'm barely sore after them. My legs don't feel like they're dying during the middle of them. So I don't know. I feel like I'm in a pretty good balanced spot with all of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I know that there's a lot of like misconception with a lot of women of like, oh, I don't want to lift because I don't want to get bulky. And it's like it's harder to get bulky than you would think.
Really hard.
Yeah. Good luck with
really
that.
Hard.
Yeah. I know plenty of people that would accidentally love to get bulky, but it does help with like recovery and staying strong and making sure that your bones don't break down. I think of like Cassandra Gill, who talked about like, I enjoy lifting. It makes me feel stronger and makes me, not break down and get hurt as much. It is super important. So I am glad that you brought that up. And then also, did you win an orange for this 50 miler?
The what? Oh, yes.
Love that.
Yes.
The things we do for like odd pieces of fruit sometimes.
Yes.
And then speaking of new experiences, I saw that you did, was it supboarding or paddle boarding?
Paddleboarding, yeah. I jumped into the Rally in the Valley competition 23, maybe. But one of the events was paddleboarding, and I had never paddleboarded before in my life. And one of the like a local Tennessee OCR, really small event, I won it, and the prize for winning that was you could pick like from a variety of things. It was like a grill, something else, but a paddleboard was one of the prizes.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, perfect. And so I picked that as the prize. And then, we'd go out to my little local lake and practice some paddleboarding for that rally event. And so it was cool to kind of learn a new skill in preparation for that too.
Yeah, that looks awesome. It looks fun, and then I also think of like the core work that I would need to like not
Yeah.
constantly fall as like a
Yeah.
slightly taller person too. It sounds exhausting,
Yeah.
but I'll have to try that out someday.
Yeah, it definitely works your core. I was surprised when I first started doing it how sore my abs were the next day.
Right.
What the heck is that from?
Yeah,
Oh,
just constantly not falling. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, and then you podiumed at a toughest mutter. So
Mhm.
that was in Philly or Pittsburgh, I believe.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so what made you want to like combine like the ultra running and OCR?
Yeah, well, that's just the best of both worlds, right? Running forever, doing the ultras through the woods, and then adding in obstacles too. Um, that was so much fun. That was my first toughest. It was overnight. I don't usually do well overnight. I am a go to bed early, get up at the crack of dawn type of person. So I was a little nervous about how the overnight was going to go. But it went really well. I'm really stubborn when it comes to things like that. And so, like, I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to stop, which I think it helps, obviously, in ultra running. But I had a blast. I love all the toughest, and I'm sad that they're kind of fading away as well.
Yes, yeah, that is a big bummer. Having Team HQ on the show over the years too, I constantly call them out. I'm like, hey, it looks like you're, starting to like navigate a little bit away from toughest. Like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, I think between the insurance cost to have like an overnight event with all of these crazy
Yeah.
things, also to get like enough volunteers, which is a problem in the US. It just, unfortunately, that was the
Yeah.
natural way things were going. But at least they have Infinity, which doesn't
Yeah.
excite me as much. I like running in the dark because
Yeah.
I can't see how slow I'm going, so I feel like I'm going fast.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect too, but it's also like the sense of adventure of like in the night,
Yeah.
in like a safe, controlled environment, but like in the night.
Right. Right.
But this was also before your first World's Toughest Mudder. So was this
Yeah.
toughest like in preparation for it, or to dip your toe in the water to see if this is something that you'd want to do, like the full 24 hours?
Yeah, no, it was more just kind of testing the waters of what that would look like. I don't think that I had, at that point, I don't know that I was planning on doing Worlds yet. I can't quite remember the timing of it all.
I think the toughest was September and Worlds was November for that
Oh,
year.
well, then maybe I knew. Yeah, I probably knew at that point then that I was doing Worlds. I was thinking it was earlier in the year. Um, but that was my first like overnight run, so it definitely was kind of a let's see how this goes type thing before Worlds. Yeah. Um,
Okay. And then so for World's Toughest Mudder, massive, massive event. How nervous were you for like a full on 24-hour race?
very nervous. I was very nervous. Um, Again, I remember sitting in the starting corral, just like could not sit still, just sitting there waiting. Yeah, I was nervous. But I knew that I wasn't going to stop, unless I crazy injured myself or something. So I knew that I was just gonna continue running all night long. And whether that brought me a podium spot or not, I hoped it would, but I didn't know for sure. I had no idea, how everybody else's training years were going and what my competition were doing. I knew that there were some girls there that were probably going to do pretty well too. Um, so I had high hopes, but my goal was just to not stop running all night.
That's a good goal to have. I tell everyone for their first World's Toughest Mudder or any World's Toughest Mudder, like have tiered goals. And for one of them, just have like a don't give up. Like when I did my first World's Toughest Mudder, 2018, my goal was to like be out there the full 24 hours. And it was also the year of the ice storm where like they had to shut down a lot of the obstacles because they were so frozen and stuff. People were going to get hurt. And just to not quit. And then so that year you got, I think it was third in your age group. Do you remember how many miles you got that year?
This was the year in Texas.
Yes.
65 miles. 65.
Okay. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So when that was all said
Yeah.
and done, how did you feel about how that went?
Yeah, I felt pretty good. I'm probably a little harder on myself after most things than the average person would say that I should be. So I was bummed that I didn't get an overall podium spot. I got like eighth place overall, I think, and like yeah, you said third or second. I don't remember, second or third in my age group. So yes, I shouldn't have had anything to be upset about, but I was. I mean, I felt like I ran all night long, and I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, but it was my first one, and so I got to see how I did. There's a lot of hills there in Texas, and the
Yeah.
penalty loops were no joke, as you know. Um, so it was not an easy 65 miles by any chance.
No.
Um,
Especially as like a
but yeah,
first timer too. Like there's a lot of stuff you have to
yeah,
learn of like, the pit is a trap. Like get in there, get your shit, get
yeah,
out. That's
yes,
something that a lot of first timers kind of get caught up on of like, do I have to change my socks? Do I have to change my shoes? Like you're probably going to
yeah,
get muddy and wet anyway, so I don't think it matters too much.
right.
But how was your obstacle proficiency through that? Because that was actually the first time that we had like unofficially met. Because you were the second person ever to complete Funky Monkey when
Oh
that
yeah, I
one opened
remember.
up. So
Yeah,
yeah, so how did you feel about like your obstacle proficiency over the course of such a ultra event?
yeah. I felt like it was pretty good. It did kind of dwindle off towards the last. I would say like probably the last half. Um, my obstacle proficiency went down. I feel like it was pretty good for the first half, though. I think just the second half, the lack of sleep, the muscle fatigue, all of that kind of set in, and I started to fall off things more and go a little bit slower up the ropes and whatnot. But um, yeah.
Yeah. And then you went from getting a age group podium to the next year getting a full-on podium. You took third place with 85 miles, so an extra
Yeah.
20 miles in the same amount of time. How did that jump feel?
Yeah, I was very excited. It was crazy. I wasn't sure. I kind of went into it with the same mindset as I had the year before, knowing that I'm just going to run all night. I'm not going to stop. I have no idea how my competitors are going to do. I'm going to try not to worry about it. Um, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna push. I wanted to be able to push harder than I did the previous year. The previous year was just about, seeing if I could do it, seeing if I could run the whole time. This year I wanted to be able to actually push a little bit more and push my limits and see what I could do. So I did. There throughout the night, there were plenty of times where I could have slowed down, running slower, walked, but I would tell myself, no, you don't need to walk right now. You can run. Keep running. And
Yeah.
so I would. And then I remember battling. I tried not to think about it too much to let it get in my head, but I would kind of keeping track of placements, like where I was. And so I knew I was hanging out between the second and fourth place for a while for most of the night. Um, and so that kind of too was a fire under my butt to not let me slow down during those times that I wanted to, just to kind of keep going. Um, and then I was in second or third, maybe. I don't know, towards one of the last two laps. Um, and I was worried if the girls behind me, because I think there were two of them kind of running together, I was worried if they were going to catch up and pass me on the last lap to knock me out the podium spot. But then Marco Carumba, Nikki Carumba's husband, he like saw me at some point and he like let me know. He's like, they're this far behind you. You could walk the rest of this lap and be okay. And I just started crying. I was like, oh my gosh. I did it. I'm gonna get third. And so it was at that point that I knew that I was gonna finish in third place. And so I was really excited. I was like, I think I cried the whole last of that lap.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's so cool. And it speaks to like how unique, not that that couldn't have happened in any other race, but like how unique like World's Toughest Mudder is in that it's like really a community event too. And how like you can get information from different people and how, selfishly me, a not elite, gets to share the course with like you elites out there. I think it's super, super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an amazing way to finish. That was actually the first year that I rabbited the full time. And that year was also hot as hell. That was the warmest World's Toughest Mudder that has ever been. Of course,
Really?
last year was pretty hot too, surprisingly, in the UK. But yeah, and Florida was ridiculous. So
Yeah.
did that play to your strength at all too?
I think so. I feel like I do a lot better in the heat than I do in the cold. Um, yeah, so I mean it was hot, but I don't feel like I don't know. I don't know that it slowed me down a terrible amount. I feel like I did pretty well staying hydrated and I don't really cramp up or anything during the heat. And so yeah, I still felt pretty strong through it.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, because I know World's Toughest Mudder, like typically like get your wetsuits and this and that, and like you're constantly battling hypothermia. And for this one, it was like people were getting like beginning stages of heat stroke, which was like a wild twist. That's not something that typically happens there.
Right.
Any interest in that? Any interest in taking it on again? I know it's in the UK now, so it's a lot further, but
Yeah, I would love to. I would have loved to have gone last year. Just with it being in the UK, it's just there's so many logistics that I can't make happen, unfortunately, and I don't think that it will happen this year either, since it's in the UK.
Fair.
But yes, for sure, if it ever comes back or the stars align where I can make things happen, I will 100% be there.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I will try every year. I will see where it is and I'll see if I can make it happen.
Yeah. I know next year they also released that it's going to be in the same place again, which I'm fine with it being in Europe because it's been in the US for over a decade, but I wish they would like move it around over there. So we'll see what happens to that in the future. But yeah, it's my favorite event. Like I missed it once for my wedding and I don't want to miss it again. So
yeah.
And then you were also invited to join the Mudgear Hannibal Race Pro team in 2025.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah. I think it was actually at the end of that year, at the end of 2024, the team members approached me and said, hey, we're interested in you possibly joining our pro team. Send us a race application, resume, whatever, and we'll see if you want to join. And I did and joined on with them and it's been great. That team is so great. We have a bunch of sponsors that let us use a bunch of their cool gear. It's cool to be able to rep a couple different brands and be on a pro team like that.
Yeah. I've been friends with Evan for a decent amount of time and I've always agreed with him in that like that is the future. Is that back in the day Spartan used to like sponsor their own athletes, which didn't make as much sense. Now like we should have other companies sponsor teams and have the teams travel around. It also provides like a cool sense of community within the community of like you and Vivian, who I know you competed against this past weekend. We can get to that in a bit too, but like getting more sponsorship and money, and like Aurora, which is like a pretty big company, it's gotten bigger since they've joined the team too. So like, so speak to like some of the sponsors and how they've been helpful with training.
Yeah. Aurora is really cool. I'd heard of that brand, but I didn't have any of their gear or anything from it. And so being able to get some after this pro team was really cool. I have a jacket and it has heating coils in it. So it's so cool. It was very helpful this past weekend in the freezing cold. And then Bleg mitts, very common among the OCR community. They were also a lifesaver in the cold, made of neoprene, and so your body heats it up, and they work so well. Total lifesaver. And then we have mud gear, of course. Their socks are great, water draining, good compression. Just everything, super high quality, great brands.
Yeah. So fast forwarding through a whole bunch of other awesome stuff that you did brings us to like this weekend where you took on the Abominable snow race. Was this your second time?
This was actually the third time that I had been up there to do it.
Oh, cool. Okay. So this is an event that I really want to take on because I enjoy the cold. Like for example, right now I think it's like 8 degrees, which is like a little too cold now. But like I enjoy the cold. I don't do well in the heat. I've always wanted to take this event on. Talk to me about like some of the unique obstacles and stuff they have there.
Yeah, you definitely should. It's really cool. Race ready obstacles. So Dana and Aaron, and their build crew, Josh and Sid, they build all the obstacles for it. And they've got different ones. They've got a rope climb. They've got a low rope crawl. They've got just a ring rig, and then they have one. It's like a candy cane shaped thing, and you take it with you through the rig. So you hook it onto the rings and then go to the next one.
Almost like Gibbons, but with a candy cane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That one's really fun. I like that one a lot. And there's another one where you have to shuffle. You're like hanging onto a board and you have to shuffle it forward and then you go into rings. There was a huge sledding hill. You had to take your tube up to the top and slide your tube down or ride your tube down. Which I went through. I think Vivian did too. We went through the barrier. We went so far that we went through the like force barrier at the end of it. what else is there? There's a rope climb. It's like a twist. You have to twist your hands. You have to lift a heavy bag on the end of it. You have to twist a rope.
Wow.
Kind of like perk hoist, but you're like twisting with your forearms instead. Lots of like twisty running through the woods. There was a bucket carry, a log carry. There's a low rig. So it's like rig with different kind of handles, but it's on the ground, so you have to keep your legs like up to your chest, and so that's pretty tough for a lot of people. Most people get stuck on that one for quite a while.
Right.
There's a weaver, which is just like a bunch of bars that you have to go like under one, on top of the other, under the one, on top of the other, up and over. There's a bender type obstacle. There's a couple walls that have just a straight rope down that you have to climb up and over. I think that's most of them.
Yeah,
you're trudging through 6 inches of snow while you're doing all this, you know?
I love it. It really screams like old school local OCR, because like when I got into the sport back in like 2012, like that's what events were. I actually worked for a company that put on an event here called like Blizzard Blast, and had like very similar things of like, it's in the snow, let's have fun with it, let's involve some snow obstacles. And I miss that so badly. Have you, so I'm assuming like going for your third time, you've met like the race production team and everything? Yeah. So how has it been like getting to know them and stuff too?
Yeah, they're great. They've done this for, I think this was like the 11th year now. But they partner with a bunch of the like local like breweries. They'll have like beer and stuff donated from local breweries. They'll have partnerships with them. They partnership with a local food pantry as well. And so they always like have a big donation that they donate from the race to the food pantry.
Love that.
Yeah. And then, yeah, they always have like a community, like packet pickup is usually at like a live music brewery place that everybody goes to and hangs out for a while. Yeah, they're a small little team, but they do this once a year, and you can tell that they're really passionate about it, and it's always a good turnout. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun following along with the social media too. I think the last video I saw was like the Abominable Snowman like dancing with a whole bunch of like the people in the background too, and it's like, is this really happening? And that's the weird stuff that I like, because it's the weird stuff that I miss, because again, like High Rocks is very much like in its own box here. Spartan Race has really like clamped down on like, these are our obstacles, we're not changing them. It's been the same since like 2018 or whatever. But like the fun, unique stuff of like, hey, don't forget, like dress up, have fun, like do weird stuff with this. That's really great to hear. So how did your race go this year at that race?
Yeah, it went pretty well. My running did not feel as well as it had in prior years. My training, I've gone through some life stuff past like 6 months, and so my training has not been at its best. So I wasn't sure how my running was going to hold up for this race, but I did okay. It felt like it was more effort to put out the same running as I did in previous years. But my obstacle efficiency felt great. I got through the low rig on the first time.
Nice.
Yeah, none of the obstacles really gave me any trouble. I felt like I flew it through everything pretty well, which is really what saved me probably, as opposed to my running. So definitely was happy to be able to snag a podium spot again.
Yeah. And it's got to be tough. Like I imagine you don't get a lot of snow down in Tennessee. So like running in snow is difficult, I'm sure.
It is. Yeah. It's kind of similar to running in sand. Like you really got to pick up your feet, and sometimes you feel like you're not making much progress because you're kind of just sliding back. But here in Tennessee, we actually had a big ice storm this past week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We've had like, people are still without power. I lost power for a few days, but it's massive. There's huge trees down. Like all the trails that I run are completely destroyed by trees right now. So I was definitely used to the cold.
Okay.
But yeah, we don't have the inches of snow like they do up there. Just ice.
Wow. And something that's difficult to kind of balance is like, you want like a snowy course, but you don't want like a super icy course. Did they do a good job of managing that to the best of their ability too?
Yeah, there really wasn't there wasn't a lot of like super slippery ice areas. There's just a little bit, like there was a part where we go over a gravel road, and there was a few patches there that were icy, but you could easily kind of go around them. but yeah, most of the trail was really good ice or good snow, kind of powdery, packish, or
Yeah.
tightly packed.
Has that good
So,
crunch to it. Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
exactly. Yeah.
And then what are some other things that did you do anything else while you were up in Wisconsin? Because like I like Wisconsin for like the cheese and my wife's a Packers fan and all that, but like there's not usually a lot of draws when you think of like states to go to. Wisconsin isn't usually on the top of most people's lists. What are some
Right.
other things that you did while you were out there? Any like other places?
So yeah, the race is in this cute little town called Lake Geneva. And it's obviously on a lake and just walked around downtown a little bit there. They've got a cute little downtown. It's like they all had their Christmas stuff up still, so it felt like it was Christmas year round there. Um, and they actually had a festival going on this weekend called Winterfest, I think is what it was called. But they had the World Championship of ice sculptures, snow
Oh,
sculptures
wow.
happening. Yeah. So walked around downtown and saw them, the artists building their and carving out their snow sculptures. That was really cool to see. But yeah, there's plenty of beer, plenty of cheese. Cute little town there, Lake Geneva.
Yeah, that's great. It's definitely something that's been on my OCR bucket list. And as things have changed with a lot of events, like it's all the more reason to like get the hell out there and support them.
Yeah.
So being in the sport, I guess now just about almost 5 years now. What are your thoughts on like how the sport has changed from, I guess, from what you've seen?
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot. The bigger brands, I feel like are not as big anymore. As we talked about, Tough Mudder has kind of cut back a lot. Spartan, I feel like, has just branched out to do so many different things that their focus is not on their like obstacle course race anymore.
Yep.
So I feel like kind of a lot of that has kind of fallen apart. Um, I will say though that the Spartan courses, like the terrain that they use and stuff, has kind of always been my favorite.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I know there are people complain about it's the same obstacles all the time, but same rig all the time, no different. But like the way that they lay out their courses and the places that they choose to put their courses on are so pretty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am glad to see some of the smaller brands coming up though. Like Midwest OCR, the Abominable one, the Highlander, Mythic Race, all of those. I really would like to support more of those, and I hope that those continue to grow because those are, I think those are the most fun. They have, they're always doing more different obstacles, changing things up, trying to make things more fun, trying to improve on the prior years that they had. Yeah.
Absolutely. I guess speaking of like Spartan venues, I think I saw that you also raced in Big Bear too. I've heard amazing things about that course. Talk to me about like the beauty of that.
Yeah, it was so pretty. It was kind of hard to get to. I had to fly into like LA and then it was like a 3-hour drive to the location. But even that drive was so pretty. Like you're driving up through winding mountains. I would stop every half mile and take photos of the mountains. I found so many hikes to just go do by myself while I was there the day before because it's so pretty. And just the weather was perfect, being on top of the mountain, being able to see out across everything. That was great. One that I'll remember for sure for a long time.
Yeah, that's another. I've done almost all the Spartans that I've ever wanted to do, but that's one that's left on. Like that seems. Although I'm not very good at climbing or elevation or anything like that, but it's something that I would definitely like to check out. I've heard nothing but great things about there.
Yeah.
And then starting to come to a close a little bit too. You talked about how like you're a mom of 4. Did your kids know what you do for this? Like, what do they think of this crazy sport, OCR, and all the other crazy awesome stuff you do?
Yeah. They think I'm definitely crazy for running the 50 and 100 milers. They're like, why would you do that?
That's fair.
They don't understand that. But they do like the obstacle course races. They've gone to a couple of them with me. They do the kids ones. They've done a couple Savage.
Nice.
They've done a couple of the kids Spartan ones. They have lots of fun. They do not have the drive to train and push themselves like I do. So they're not huge fans of the running endurance part of it. But they do like playing on the obstacles, and it's fun. When I go away to a race, I'll come back. They usually will have made me like a card or something that said, congratulations or do well or something like that. So that's always fun.
That's great. I mean, that's some great motivation. I remember talking to like Trevor Psychos about like how they can kind of go both ways of like, on one hand, like, oh, I miss my kids. I wish I was with my kids. But on the other hand, like, I want to be an awesome role model for them too. So yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
So starting to come to a close, anyone that you'd like to thank, like sponsors or just people that have supported you?
Thank you to John and Rachel Wolf, who helped me start out this journey by taking me in under their wing and showing me how to do obstacles in their backyard. And then all of my Mud Gear Pro Hannibal race team, Evan, Vivian, Kevin, Courtney. I'm going to forget somebody if I'm starting to name all of them. Nathan, Marquez, Jamie, Jenny, Josh. They're all such a great community, and can always go to them to ask, advice about gear or certain races if they've done it before, what they think about it, where they traveled to, how they got there, etc. And then our sponsors for that team, Aurora, Mud Gear, Black Mitts, The Feed, Hannibal Race. Yeah.
Awesome. And then what do you have planned for the 2026 season?
So planning to support more of the smaller OCRs. So planning to do Mythic for sure. I don't know about Conquer the Gauntlet yet, although I would like to. I'm going to try to make it to one or two of the Savages. Don't know for sure which one yet. And then I know we were kind of not talking crazy highly about Spartan, but I am going to try to do Killington this year.
Oh, cool.
I've never done Killington. I've never been up to the Northeast at all.
Okay.
And something with a lot of climbing will give me something specific to train for. So I'm gonna train real hard for that and kind of make a little vacay of it up there, eat some maple syrup and try it out. So yeah.
Killington is
I'm sure
is a special beast. The first time we did it, I had like a team of like 12 people. And we just like went as slow as the slowest person on the team. So I think as long as it takes you like quicker than 11 hours to do the beast, it was miserable. I'm overdue to like going back and covering it. I don't know if I want to run that again, but I think it'll be an awesome experience for you. Like if you want something different, Killington is one of the more difficult beasts out there. So that should be a good time for you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And then where can people follow you on social media?
I have my Instagram handle is Mother Tucker OCR.
Such a good name.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm there. I'm on Facebook too, just as Sarah Tucker, but more active on Instagram.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. Hopefully we'll meet you in Killington again in person. And have a great season up until then. And best of luck with everything.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Sarah Tucker. Maybe we will see you in Killington.
Where World Stuff is Munner?
Not while it's in the UK. She said if it comes back.
Oh.
Maybe if you listen to the interview that hasn't been released yet.
I will. Thank you.
For related episodes, nothing really related to her, unfortunately, and nothing really related to Abominable Snow Race because we haven't had the chance to cover that yet. But for related episodes,
episode 56,
Colonial Roadrunner Award Banquet and Blizzard Blast with Fred Smith.
Episode 108,
Blizzard Blast and Colonial Roadrunners Award Banquet with Frank Donahue. So both of those were the event that I used to work on and unfortunately no longer around, which is a bummer. But that was our winter event in the Northeast that we had.
Do you know what happened this weekend, today, a couple years ago?
No, a couple years ago. Two, would have been 2024.
Okay, not 2, 7 years ago.
Oh, Jesus, what?
I ran that most horrible race.
Oh, the polar bear. Oh, wow. Maybe I'll put that. I'll link that too.
I have a photo. It says 6 miles of hills, snow and ice, 50 plus obstacles, and temperatures that stayed below 10 degrees.
It was a polar bear challenge.
Yep.
That was at Shale Hill, 8 hours, one of the hardest permanent courses in the world.
I wore 3 pairs of pants, 3 layers of long sleeves, a windbreaker, a wool hat, a buff, 2 pairs of socks, a pair of gloves, and a pair of leg mitts.
In the Airbnb that we stayed at, the pipes froze.
And I had no hot water. Yeah. And we slept in twin beds, remember? They thought we were roommates.
I mean, that was a very big deal that we got to go to that event because that was the last one at Shale Hill. But yeah, maybe
that might have been worse than World's Toughest Mudder.
Yeah, you don't do well in the cold.
No.
Could be foreshadowing for this year's Worlds. We'll
horrible.
See.
Did I just jinx it for all of us? I'm sorry.
You may have. Where are we in this?
Subscribe and follow wherever you get your podcasts. We're Obstacle Running Adventures on all of the podcast players. If you like what you heard, leave us a review on that purple podcast app. If you didn't like what we heard, or if you don't agree with what we said earlier, then bye.
Yeah, that's fine. Patreon, you can support us over there financially for as little as $2 or as many as $10. We work really hard on the show. Sometimes we have fun with it and we're more talkative than usual. There'll be plenty of post-credit scenes on this one. And also you can like and follow us on social medias as well. Coming up next, hopefully a Canadian OCR/hybrid athlete, but still nailing down a day to record. Actually, just got a message from her and I'll have to respond soon. Kaylee, got a joke or a quote?
I do. What is a penguin's favorite relative?
Your new screen protector is perfect because I can't accidentally look. What?
Antarctica.
Their favorite. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Antarctica.
Right.
If you said it, the joke wouldn't make sense.
Antarctica. That sounds like. Sounds fancy.
It would not make sense.
Antarctica.
Antarctica.
Yeah.
And my quote is, I am not who I used to be, and that is a beautiful thing. And even here in the new unknowns, I know I am still blooming.
Nice. That just about wraps it up. My name's Stephanie.
My name's Caitlin Ritter.
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms
So you don't miss our future episodes.
We would greatly appreciate it if you write a review.
Reach out with feedback on social media.
But most importantly, share the show
with a friend or family member.
Our intro song was Streaker by Straight Up.
And our outro music is Iron Paw by The Best.
All right. Lucy isn't created as if I didn't learn my lesson. And my mic is disgusting looking because the cat chewed it, I think.
So.
Sorry, can you give me 1 second? I have to let the dog out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good girl, Luce. Good girl. Sorry about that. We got a puppy and we taught her to communicate with like those buttons. And all I hear is like outside, outside, outside. I'm like, oh, this is an emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I have to get the dog one more time. We're getting to World's Toughest Mudder, which is my favorite. So one sec. All right. Yes. Apologies. All right. And she's back.
Sorry. I don't know what happened. I think my internet went out.
Okay. Sorry.
My computer stopped working, so I just switched to my phone.
I feel bad. I panicked. I'm like, oh no, we only have like one question left.
Sorry.
Yeah, it blew my mind. I'm like, I don't even think I was like following you for some. I was very confused because I've been aware of like who you are and everything. I know all the things that you've done, and I'm like, how have I not been following her? So this has been long overdue. So glad to get to know you a little bit more and everything.
I think if people listen because they like our little like dynamic, this is a great episode.
I thought the same thing because I haven't been as unhinged lately. I don't know what it is.
Because it's a Monday afternoon.
Maybe, but yeah, I don't like to record this late, but it is what it is.
I think it's.
And I got an expo meeting in like 40 minutes.
The vibe is fun.
And I got to do it by 2 miles. And our street's still an ice rink.
Yeah, it was so scary.
Did you fall?
I was so close. Lucy's doing her like. She looks like she's like swimming in the snowbanks.
Yeah.
And I'm walking in my like non-trail shoes and she's just like dragging me along.
I'll only wear my trail shoes outside. I wear my older trail shoes, which my feet like aren't fitting anymore, which isn't fun. Well, the shoes aren't fitting. My feet. Because my feet got fat. Like the rest of my... I'm telling you, something happened with my feet. None of my shoes fit.
The shoe might have shrunk.
All of them? The same amount? I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right, can we actually start talking about the outro now?
Yeah, about the Abominable.
Yeah.